Who are the Tarnished? Why do some see grace and others not? Where do the Tarnished come from? This video is part of a series in which I'll try to answer these questions. For this video, I'll be discussing how the Tarnished came to be. Our story begins at the end of Lord Godfrey's conquest on behalf of Queen Marika, defeating an unknown foe. From the war memorial itself, Lord Godfrey, at last at the end of his campaign, his golden armies unvanquished and unbowed, it finds grace lost, tattered, and faded. This foreshadows something later on. Godfrey and his army rest at the nearby Third Church of Marika down the road in Limgrave. Then Marika delivers what must have been a disheartening blow, in Marika's own words.
My lord, and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die.
Hence the beginning of the Tarnished. And so Godfrey and his army are driven away. While resting, the army would have made use of the Mistwood and Seofor River well. In the Mistwood ruins, for one reason or another, a talisman is left behind. The axe talisman tells us, the lord who led the long march bore an axe, and his loyal warriors honored him by wielding axes of their own, making them very effective at dealing decisive blows. Now we must cross the Bridge of Sacrifice. Sadly, the game gives us no clue as to why it's called that. The soldiers here are defenders for Castle Morn, so they came long after our purposes. Is it possible that it is named the Bridge of Sacrifice because Godfrey and his men themselves a sacrifice, or they themselves are making the sacrifice? We know they are meant to come back later, and so maybe they must sacrifice themselves
to be able to save the day when they are called back.
Now we must enter the Weeping Peninsula. Have you ever stopped to wonder why it's called such? Well, we learn from a map fragment that the peninsula, to Limgrave south, is named for its unceasing rainfall, redolent of lament. You can interpret this in several different ways. However, it is likely that the Tarnished wept with lament along their march through this area, as they were driven from their homes, from their families, and everything they've ever known. Pick up the march at the Church of Pilgrimage. Marika speaks to the army as they rest here, in Marika's own words.
Then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden Ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
Down the cliff from the Church of Pilgrimage, we find the Faith Knot crystal tier, which boosts faith, something the Tarnished should have really needed as they hear these words from Marika. We're nearly at the end of the journey now. Now we're at the Tower of Return. At the top of the tower lies a trap chest that teleports us to Lanedale. But maybe it's not a trap after all. Maybe this tower was made to await the inevitable return of the Tarnished. Maybe that chest was never actually a trap, but a welcome mat, a way for the Tarnished to quickly return to the foot of the Earth Tree when they arrive back at the lands between. This is further reinforced by this dead guy I found,
who says, "Oh, there it is, the tower. Finally, I can return to our home, bathed in rays of gold."
On the coast at the end of the world, as the isolated merchant calls it, Godfrey and the Tarnished board ships and sail away south, to the unknown, towards what we only know as the Badlands. Here we see the remains of boats and their construction, as well as countless corpses wandering towards the ocean. Were these Tarnished that got left behind and died here? Were they the friends and family who have taken up residence nearby to await their Tarnished return? An age passes, and a scaly misbegotten wanders by. He finds an anchor and takes it back to his cave in Morn Tunnel. Sometime later, a lone Tarnished of no renown enters the cave, defeats the misbegotten, and finds his treasure. The rusted anchor a description tells us, while the Tarnished left the lands between with their lord, one boat was said to have been left behind. Now it's up to you to decide who that last boat was left for.
Hi guys, so thank you so much for watching this far. It really does mean a lot, as this is my very first lore video and what will hopefully be a long series of lore videos about Elden Ring. So I'd just like to ask you whether you would like and subscribe to the video. That'd be great, and yeah, see you on the next one. Bye.